Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're taking a bit of a strategic shortcut. Instead of, sifting through thousands of pages of dense architectural documentation, we're using what I think is the ultimate blueprint. It's a highly specialized stack of sources all built around the core knowledge required for SAP S/4HANA Cloud Project Management. And this really isn't about prepping for some exam. It's about extracting the absolute non-negotiable rules of modern SAP implementation. If you need to understand the methodology, the philosophical shift, and the mandatory tools for a cloud ERP project, well, this gives us the perfect distilled framework. We're going straight to the architectural heart of what SAP considers essential knowledge.
It's an incredibly efficient way to look at it. The sources are so precise, they show you exactly where the focus has to be. And just for context, this knowledge base, it covers a certification with 80 questions over 180 minutes. And a 69% pass rate. So it's not trivial. We're talking single and multiple choice scenarios, all designed to test this core knowledge.
That structure is gold for us. It means everything we discuss today is, in effect, mandatory knowledge according to SAP itself. So let's not waste any time. We should probably start with the single biggest shift organizations have to make. It's not technical, it's conceptual, the guiding philosophy. All right, so when a project kicks off, they enter the explore phase. And the big thing there is the fit to standard workshop. For companies that are used to, bending their old ERP system to their every whim, what is the revolutionary primary objective of those workshops?
The objective is singular, and this is where the revolution really starts, is to identify the gaps between the customer's business requirements and the standard predefined SAP best practices.
That sounds simple, but the implication there is huge, right?
It's massive. Historically, implementing an ERP meant customizing the software to mirror how you already did things, even if those processes were inefficient. The cloud mindset is the complete reverse. It dictates you must adopt the standard processes first. The workshop's goal isn't design, it's validation. You're validating whether the standard can meet your needs.
Right. It's like the difference between building a custom home from scratch and buying a modern condo. You can choose the paint, the furniture, that's configuration, but you do not get to move the load-bearing walls. It forces a certain level of standardization.
Precisely. And that standardization leads us directly to the golden rules.
Uh-huh.
So if you're managing an S/4HANA cloud implementation, the sources point to two tenets that just cannot be broken.
Okay, what are they?
The first rule is really a continuation of what we were just saying. You must foster a cloud mindset by rigidly, and I mean rigidly, adhering to that fit-to-standard approach. This is the mechanism that ensures two things: process adoption and, critically, that the system stays upgrade stable.
Let's pause on that upgrade stable. For anyone who lived through, old ERP patching cycles, that phrase must sound like salvation. What does it really mean here?
It means that the configurations you deploy today won't break when SAP pushes the next cloud update. If you stick to the standard model, the technical upgrade is nearly seamless. The moment you start modifying the source code or building heavy extensions inside the core, which the golden rules specifically forbid, you've basically voided that stability guarantee.
So you avoid that customization debt that just crippled older systems. Okay, so what's the second golden rule? It focuses on governance, doesn't it?
That's right. The second rule is that you must use SAP Cloud ALM for implementation management. It's mandated the tool, and by doing that, it's mandated the methodology that's embedded inside that tool.
And that kind of mandate that you must use a specific tool, it just highlights how seriously SAP takes governance in the cloud. We're so far beyond the days when every consulting firm brought their own project plan templates and documentation styles.
Absolutely. The system demands standardization, so the project governance has to follow suit. Cloud ALM is like the digital command center for the whole thing.
Okay, that's a perfect segue into our next segment, the essential tools and platforms. We've established Cloud ALM handles the how of project governance, but what about innovation? If the golden rules forbid heavy customization in the core S/4HANA system, where does all the real customer differentiation, the advanced extensions, where does that happen?
That is the exclusive domain of the SAP Business Technology Platform, SAP BTP.
BTP, okay.
You should think of SAP BTP as let's call it the legal sandbox. It provides all the platform services, analytics, AI, development environments that let you build complex apps outside of the core S/4HANA system. This is the definition of side-by-side extensibility. It ensures that central S/4HANA application stays untouched, it stays clean, and of course upgrade stable.
So BTP is essentially the insurance policy for maintaining a clean core. It gives customers the flexibility they need without putting the main ERP engine at risk.
Exactly. It manages that tension. You standardize the operational backbone with S/4HANA Cloud, and you inject your competitive edge using BTP.
Okay, so before we can innovate, we have to deal with that inevitable headache, data. Bringing over legacy data is often the most painful part of any migration. So what's the primary tool for moving that data into SAP S/4HANA Cloud?
That would be the SAP Migration Cockpit.
And what makes it mandatory? I mean, can't you just use standard data loading tools?
Well, the Migration Cockpit isn't just a data loader, it's a whole framework. It's template-driven. It uses these pre-built staging tables and validation rules that are specifically tailored to the S/4HANA data model. So it basically eliminates a lot of the manual errors and ensures the data is loaded, structured, validated, and fully audit-ready. It ties the data process right back into the whole methodology.
Got it. So we've covered the philosophy, the tooling. Let's look at the structure that brings it all together. The SAP Activate methodology. This roadmap moves from, discover and prepare into explore, then realize, and finally deploy. The success hinges on getting clear outputs from each phase.
Right.
So we know the realize phase is where all the configuration and testing happens, the real engine room of the project. To prove you're actually ready for go live, what are the two critical deliverables that have to be produced and signed off during that realize phase?
Okay, first, and this is the obvious one, you must have the fully configured and thoroughly tested solution. This is the technical proof that the system works as designed.
Makes sense.
But the second deliverable is the human element, and this is what older methodologies often missed. The end-user training, documentation, and materials.
Wait, hold on. Why do the training materials have to be finalized and realized before you even hit the deploy phase? Isn't that a bit early?
It speaks to the priority of user readiness. Activate ensures that system adoption isn't some last-minute scramble. By making training materials a core deliverable of Realize, you guarantee that the organizational change management team has the validated content they need to prepare the whole organization well before the technical cutover.
That makes a lot of sense. It ensures a smoother transition. So after all that configuration, all the testing, and user prep, we finally hit the moment of truth. In which phase does the project team perform the cutover to the production system?
That is the climax of the project. It happens in the deploy phase. The deploy phase is all about those final technical activities, the final data loads, the system transitions, activating the final configs, and then commencing live business operations. It's the official handoff.
Okay, let's circle back to that clean core principle. Customization is necessary, but it has to be controlled. If an organization is on S/4HANA Cloud, even the private edition, they're still bound by this philosophy. What are the two distinct, supported ways to add functionality without touching the core code?
They fall into two categories, really, based on complexity and who does the work. First, there's key user extensibility. You can also call it in-app extensibility.
And who is the key user here? A developer?
No, think more like a super user or a business analyst. This allows for really controlled enhancements right inside the S/4HANA application itself. Things like adding a field to a screen, creating a simple report, some basic logic. It's powerful, but it's very strictly managed.
Okay, and the second method?
The second, more complex method is side-by-side extensibility. This is for serious, deep development. And this uses SAP BTP, the platform we just talked about, to build advanced custom apps or complex integrations that sit securely next to S/4HANA. They communicate via standard APIs. This is where the heavy developers play, and it guarantees that core system stays clean.
That clarity is so important. It defines the boundaries. And this idea of boundaries is also central to the rise with SAP offering. It's a managed cloud model. So SAP takes on a lot of the technical work, but the customer still owns critical parts. If we look at that shared responsibility model, what are two core areas the customer must retain ownership of?
The customer always retains ownership over what makes their business unique. Specifically, they have to retain, 1, the implementation of business processes and the configuration. They dictate how the application will be functionally used.
Right.
The what? And second, they retain management of the application data and user identities. This means roles, security profiles, and the integrity and privacy of their business data.
That's a really powerful business insight. So SAP handles the commodity IT work, the infrastructure, OS patching, database management, data center security, but the customer is responsible for everything that actually drives their competitive advantage. The unique business logic they configure, and their own proprietary data.
It's a very clean division of labor. SAP makes sure the system runs. The customer makes sure the system runs their business correctly and legally.
Let's tie this back to the people one last time. We said training materials are a deliverable of the realize phase. So what is the key job of the organizational change management, or OCM, team during that really intense realize phase?
The OCM team's core function is to minimize adoption risk, period. Their primary responsibility during Realize is proactively preparing all the users for the new system. And they do that through targeted, phase-specific communication and training. They're the vital bridge between the tech team and the end users. I mean, a perfectly built system is worthless if people don't understand the new standardized processes. OCM ensures the investment actually pays off. It's a complete blueprint.
Absolutely. The structural clarity we've gotten from this is just unmatched. But let me leave you with the central tension that really defines this entire approach. We spent all this time emphasizing standardization, adopting global best practices that fit the standard golden rule. Yet, every single organization needs a competitive edge. Differentiation, as we noted, is supposed to happen only through that controlled side-by-side extensibility on SAP BTP. So if everyone adopts the same standard backbone for stability, how does an organization ensure its unique market-defining advantage is preserved using only those controlled extension points? It forces a new way of thinking about what truly is unique business logic in the age of cloud ERP. Think about that balance, that necessary conformity versus the pursuit of competitive advantage. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.